How many years have you been in Jamaica?
30.
30 years in Jamaica?
Yes. And at age 75, I'm the oldest lifeguard in the country.
Oh,
and I'm the only woman captain. This has got a lot of miles on this boat.
Cold?
Yeah, well, 82 is cold to me, yes. Uncle Sam loves to scare people about Jamaica. I just looked at the country and went, wow, this place is huge. We can do the same thing here on land that we did on sea there.
You're like the proper captain of the Caribbean. The rum is there.
You know, it's funny, I get asked by a lot of my customers how I had the courage to do what I did. And I go, it doesn't take courage. You just have to be young and stupid and jump, and then you can never afford to jump back. It's simple.
This video is sponsored by you. Thank you so much for the support. If you're new here, my name is Irina and this channel is dedicated to Jamaica. Today I'd like to share a story with you about an extraordinary lady in her 70s who was born in the United States but is proud to be a Jamaican citizen. As a foreigner myself, I look up to this lady because this is the kind of retirement in Jamaica I'm personally aiming for. So please welcome my lifestyle role model, Carolyn Barrett.
My name is Carolyn Barrett. I grew up in Lake Placid, New York, and it goes to 36 below there in the wintertime, and I didn't like it much, and started scuba diving at age 13, and that brought me to the Caribbean eventually. I love it down here. I've been in the Caribbean for 50 years now and ran hotels in the Eastern Caribbean, and then 30 years ago married a Jamaican and came here.
In Jamaica, I often meet people who break all stereotypes about retirement, okay? But you are the only girl I know, okay, who has a more active lifestyle than most average people, you know, regardless the age. I mean, sailing, snorkeling, diving, cliff jumping. So how do you do that?
I started at age 15 for dryland training for ski racing, and I've just continued ever since. And at age 75, I'm the oldest lifeguard in the country.
Oh,
and
right.
I'm the only woman captain of a sailboat, and so on and so forth. And I still go running every day, and I'm still very active.
So how many years have you been in Jamaica?
30.
30 years in Jamaica?
Yes.
So why did you relocate to Jamaica? Why not other Caribbean islands?
Well, I've actually lived on several of them. I was running some ski chalets in Mammoth Mountain, California when we had 70 feet of snow one winter, and decided that I could run hotels in warmer climes than that. And I'd been to Puerto Rico scuba diving a few years before and decided I would just make applications all over the Caribbean. Ended up with a job in St. Martin and packed up my disabled veteran husband and my first baby, and off we went. We moved around as the jobs got bigger and better, so I was in St. Lucia for a while and Antigua for 15 years. And I was also partners in a yacht charter business there. Then I came here for a conference and met a nice Jamaican man after I'd been widowed for 11 years and raised 4 children by myself. And he showed up in Antigua about 3 months later and said he wasn't going home till we got married. So to get him off my front porch, I was forced to say yes. So me, a Jamaican, and now man. We came back here about a month after we were married, and I looked around to figure out how to make a living here and invented Barrett Adventures. So here we are.
Is this rum? Is this actual ramp?
Yes.
You're like the proper captain of the Caribbean. The rum is there.
I bought it by the keys out at Hampton, because Hampton has the very best rum.
It's the first time I see a dog in a boat.
I go nowhere without her. I go nowhere without her.
She treats nice.
Are you ready? Go!
In Antigua, I had run 2 hotels and been partners in a yacht charter business. And the hotels were time-shared and had been sold out 3 or 4 years before I left there, so I'd gone into the yachting full-time. Took over as first mate and chief cook and bottle washer, but I knew every bit of history on every island and all the good snorkeling and scuba diving spots and local restaurants and hiking trails and just everything about everything. So when I came back here about a month after we were married, I looked around Jamaica trying to figure out how to make a living here, which can be very interesting. And I just looked at the country and went, wow, this place is huge. We can do the same thing here on land that we did on sea there. And I miss sailing, so when I inherited money from my dad about 20 years ago, I bought a sailboat over in St. Martin and sailed it back and added it to the business. And then kind of serendipitously acquired a second boat about 4 years ago. So,
Where did you learn sailing?
we had a camp out on a little island at the end of Lake Placid, and we would spend our summers out there. And the year after they invented sunfish, I begged for one for my 15th birthday and actually got it. We still have it up at the camp. So I would sail into town every day and then get becalmed on the way back in the afternoon, and my brother would be sitting on the dock by the motorboat laughing at me. So I'd have to get in the water and swim back, towing the boat. It was a great start to sailing. My first husband was friends with Hobie Alton, who invented the Hobie Cat. So when we were in California before we came back down here, we used to go down to Cabrillo Beach and try out all his prototypes, and we owned a Hobie 16 for a while. And then we came down here and we got into much bigger boats. Took him 8 tries to catch one of these the other day.
We've never caught a mooring ball on our boat, so and of course it's 11 feet down from the bow.
All right. Now, everybody strip down to your bathing suits. We'll hand out snorkeling equipment. We have a huge reef here that's really pretty. And it looks like it's real clear today. Yes.
Is it clear today?
See the bottom.
Yeah. So what we'll do is swim in and feed our little Sergeant Major fish that are voraciously waiting for us. And then we'll swim off along the north side of the reef looking for our eagle rays. And then we'll go into the reef where there's lots of...
We had a baby eagle ray on our beach the other day.
Oh, did
right?
you really?
Oh my God,
Oh,
it was
cool.
so cute.
Yeah. And yeah, we'll have there's lots of live coral and pretty fish and everything in there, so, and it's real calm. Okay, we've been in luck. One inner reef has survived all the 11 hurricanes we've had in the last 20 years because it's been protected by all the outer reefs. So where the outer reefs have a lot of broken, dead coral and are just starting to come back, this one has lots and lots of live coral. I did a 7-day cruise with an Australian family who told me the reef we use here was even better than the Great Barrier Reef. I was glad to hear that.
So is that the secret reef?
We call that Fish Pond Reef, yes.
Fish Pond Reef, okay.
Over by Secrets.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Airport Reef?
We offer a 2-reef snorkel where we'll go to both. but you have to get out there early while it's fairly calm. So we go there first and then into the inner reef where it stays good for longer.
Snorkeling tour, does it have to include sailing, or do you also do snorkeling tours without sailing, just
Yes,
motor?
we do. We offer just snorkeling, which is considerably less pricey than going sailing. And you can do either the one reef, the fish pond reef, or you can do 2 reefs.
My tourist sunburn. Oh, so we were talking about standing at the airport watching the pale people get off the planes and the sunburned people get on the planes.
Okay, Tom, let me try it. The mask.
You sailed it down from Boston?
Yeah, we sailed from Boston to Key West several years ago when he wanted to work from home. And then I stopped to see him a few years ago when I was picking up another boat on that coast to bring down here. And we went out sailing, and he was whining about the fact that he couldn't sell his nice deep draft cruising boat in shallow Tampa Bay. And I let him whine long enough that he offered me a deal I couldn't refuse and even helped me sail it down here the first time.
Brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, and then I sailed it back up just before COVID to get new sails. So this has got a lot of miles on this boat.
All right.
Toss me your mask.
Cold?
Yeah, well, 82 is cold to me, yes.
It's true. We have a saying in our family that Bess is turning into Carolyn because anytime if she's not in direct sunlight, she's cold.
Yeah, well, it's true. When it goes down from 87 to 82 for winter water temperature, I'm in trouble. I really do need this wetsuit.
Hey guys. How are you? Yes, who is here? Hello. Hello, baby. All right, she's getting ready, is she? For the evening cruise. Are you the only person who's doing sailing charters in Montego Bay?
Well, real sailing charters, yes. We're the only ones with monohull yachts. The most common things we do are half-day sails around Montego Bay. So that entails taking them out to a really nice snorkeling reef that has lots of live coral and colorful fish. And then when they're finished snorkeling, we go out and sail where the wind takes us for the rest of their 4 hours. If they want to do a full-day cruise, that includes lunch at some point and more sailing and probably stopping in a place where we can swim and fix the lunch. A 7-day cruise, we fight our way against the wind to Port Antonio, have a driver bring our people there, and he stays overnight and takes them to see Reach Falls and some of our pretty beaches in the morning. And then we sail to Orica Basin in the afternoon. If they want to do another land tour, they can. We'll bring back the driver. And then we sail to Ocho Rios in the afternoon and keep working our way down the coast to Negril, day 7.
Oh, that's really cool. So you go downwind mostly?
We go downwind with the customers and we fight the upwind, yes.
You bring the boat, you deliver.
Yeah, we bring it, all right.
You know, we have quite a lot of people book so-called sailing on catamaran. So can you share a little bit more of the difference between the catamaran sunset cruise and the sailing you do?
Well, a catamaran, you have about 100 people on board, and they never sail. They just run their 250 horsepower engines that are in each pontoon and put up a fully battened sail, tightly tied down, that doesn't do anything for the sailing at all.
I think they're perfect for people who want to just party and I don't know.
Oh, they can get well drunk on a catamaran cruise. There's 151 white rum in the rum punch, yes. The fact that they can still stagger off afterwards is good.
They're
Yeah.
not really for sailing as such.
Oh, no. In fact, I had a couple of people last year who had probably spent 20 emails telling me all the places they'd been sailing in the Caribbean. And when we had finished snorkeling and started off and put up the sails and turned off the engine, they looked at one another and went, "Oh, we've never done this before."
I just love this fresh air. I cannot get enough fresh air.
There is a small sailing community in Jamaica, but in most cases it's like this parallel reality, and a lot of people are not even aware it exists. Sailing is hardly ever discussed when it comes to Jamaica. While many other Caribbean islands have hundreds of yachts coming to their shores and their crew members, not the poorest people, spend hundreds of thousands of dollars there, Jamaica doesn't really get much of this business.
One of the things is we have an eternal east wind in the Caribbean, and Jamaica is positioned the long way against the wind. So anywhere you want to go east, you have to tack and fight your way east. The islands in the Eastern Caribbean do a nice little line north to south. You can sail on a broad reach the whole way. I used to do it all the time. And
So it's to do with
That's
trade winds mostly.
for instance, the Errol Flynn Marina, when they built that about 15 years ago, they advertised it as for super yachts and such. And there just aren't that many super yachts coming this far west. The Eastern Caribbean, again, because the sailing is all very nice and simple and easy, attracts all the boats. And going up and down from island to island is, you know, you can do it in one day from island to island, so you don't ever have to do an overnight sail or anything. So it's simple.
And I also heard that it's because of the safety. Like people are worried because north of Jamaica we have Cuba.
Well, I mean, they're far enough away that we don't have a problem. I've taken my boat to Cuba a few times, and I've been in Haiti too with it. So, you know, it's something like Uncle Sam loves to scare people about Jamaica. Jamaica is way safer than it is in the States right now. And I've been driving around here for 30 years, alone, with people, whatever, all hours of the day and night. I've had drug dealers help me change a flat tire in the worst ghetto in Kingston at 1:30 one morning. And, you know, I mean, the closest I've come to a crime is a guy who pulled up next to me one morning when I was out jogging and tried to steal my iPhone. And he was on a motorcycle, and he didn't expect to be attacked by an old white woman, and I just pulled the handlebars down on the ground, stood on his front wheel, and said, "Give me back my phone," twice. And he tossed it over on the verge. I got off his front wheel, and the look on his face was so priceless.
Information for those coming to Jamaica by boat.
Okay, well, Montego Bay is the biggest tourist area, so an awful lot of people start here. You can sail into Negril and more offshore, and it's not a problem, really. The other marina is in Kingston, actually Port Royal, and has a fairly good-sized marina there. And then Port Antonio has the Errol Flynn Marina, which is very beautiful, and has a lot of personality, yeah. That's where tourism started in the Caribbean back in the 1870s. So it's a cool place. It's the best part of Jamaica. And then, you know, you can moor in lots and lots of bays here. So Orica Base is good, Ocho Rios is good, Lucy is good. So the thing is that no matter what you do, I mean, if you sail east to west, you can do a 7-day cruise along just the north coast. Then going down by Negril and whatnot is no problem. That's a broad reach. And then sailing along the south coast, you know, you have to tack, but it you know, it gets you where you want to go. But it's probably a 2-week sail around Jamaica.
Do you think people should know more about like studying sailing here in Jamaica? Because there are options like Kingston Yacht Club, they sometimes run these courses for kids and things.
We offer kids sailing lessons here too, in small boats when they're, you know, anywhere from 6 to 15 years old. So they have the opportunity here. It's just that, you know, not many of them take advantage of it.
People just don't know it exists, I think.
Yeah,
this is
that's
one of the,
highly possible. We're not really good with advertising.
I think sailing should really be more developed in Jamaica because there are so many opportunities here that are not being used at all.
Well,
like, there is no competition pretty much. Like if
this
a sailing
is what I
school,
love.
Thank you for being able to do this, and I'm very happy to be able to film this interview with you. Thank you, Carolyn.
Oh, you're most welcome.